Hi, Pisces. So, I was a little bit confused as to why this bug that I had, this flu, came out of nowhere. And then I realized there's a whole new flu season that's about to start. And it's yet again a new strain, which is how flu shots are created. It's a guess on what strain will prevail. And then I realized that I always get whatever flu is about to be out. I always get it before most people get it and go through it. And then by the time everyone starts to get sick, I'm not getting sick anymore. And that made me think of the word immunity. And it floored me. So I was like, oh yeah, of course. See, you've had Chiron in your sign for a very long time. What seems like a very long time. Let's say it that way. And yes, it has done the slow work of inflicting the wounds, bringing awareness to the wounds, flushing the wounds out, moving to the next thing. Why? Because without those wounds, you cannot heal. Because you don't know how it feels. If you don't know how it feels, you cannot be a shaman. Chiron is the shaman. If you don't know how it feels, then you can't energetically heal. You can't empathize. You can only try to physically cure. And we know that that's hardly ever enough. Anyone who experiences any sort of fundamental change or healing has some sort of a psychosomatic component to it. It doesn't have to be religion. It doesn't have to be any sort of spirituality. It could be a belief in a certain drug. It could be the belief in a certain doctor's expertise or the word of a certain panel of doctors. There's a lot of work that's been done on placebos that speaks directly to this. So, immunity. The shaman has to live through that which his tribe or her tribe will have to deal with. They have to be inflicted with all those wounds and live through all of them and learn from all of them before they could ever be able to heal anyone else. That time period of initiation and undergoing the toil of that process is over. But as you can see from my physical being at the moment, building immunity is a sort of gruesome kind of process. You have to let something attack your body so you can build up the means to fight it. So first you have to be vulnerable to it and let it hurt you, and then you have to rise above it, therefore redeeming yourself. Sounds familiar, huh, Pisces? I got a Jesus thing. I know, it's weird, right? Because I'm Muslim and everything. I don't know. Maybe it's all the Catholic school, but I got a Jesus thing. I think he's cool. Happy Easter. Here we are. Happy Easter. Chiron is leaving. Pisces, the age of Pisces, the age of Christ. It all comes together. Here we are. Hello. Building immunity. Why did you do this to me, Pisces? Because I was like Capricorn. Capricorn's definitely feeling like the pull, but where's the pull coming from? Like, this is something outside of, like, where is this, and it's, once you develop what is needed to have those shaman abilities, you become a powerhouse. You become really necessary and respected and an integral part of your community. You've gone through your initiation, and then you take, the gravitas of what you've learned and you sit with it, and people are drawn to you now because they can feel on a intrinsic level their evolutionary genetics are responding to you somehow. They know that you know something or have something that they can be helped by. This is how people will start to see you in the coming months. But like I said, the building immunity, now that it's like, bye, here. I leave you with this. Build the immunity to this and then be off. And man, I mean, it's okay, but I think mainly it's okay because of a good attitude. I think if I had wanted to be like upset or sad or emotional or like focusing on stupid stuff, then I don't think it would have gone so well. That Page of Pentacles that you've like actively been ignoring is so trying to get your attention now. I'm going to venture a guess and say for a lot of you it's a Capricorn, because I've been looking at the comments in the Capricorn video. I'm just saying. Earth sign, messages. The beginning of money as well. Once Chiron leaves, that gravitas and the respect that it leaves you with, it has many material benefits too. It's not just about being spiritually more sound or more helpful to your community. It's about being more magnetic to all the things in life that signify abundance. So you will find yourself more popular, but you will also find yourself being approached for more work stuff. And you will also seemingly, eerily out of nowhere, being asked to somehow spiritually help the Tower. Yeah, I mean, it's not to be avoided. The leaving of Chiron is problematic. I think that the prevailing attitude right now is like, hey, don't focus on it, let's just move forward. And that's kind of a weird thing to say to a Pisces anyway, because it's, like move forward. It's an ocean. What do you mean? What do you mean exactly? Which way is forward today or at the moment? Who are you talking to? So the fear then becomes that the Tower moments can last perpetually because there is no moving forward, right? So then how do you navigate this space? How do you take people around you having Tower moments and you also having Tower moments? Okay, Justice in reverse. So especially if you're dealing with a Libra, this also looks like someone Virgo Libra cusp who's just not having a good time. Okay, this is a really weird thing to admit, but I often like kick myself and say like, oh, I should have watched the Aries video, or I should have watched, because I'm not really aware of what I'm saying, but like I should have gone back and watched the Aries video. That would have really helped me. Or I should have watched the Gemini video again. That I should have listened to that part again. But I don't watch either of those videos, but I watch the Pisces videos because for some reason, when I read the Pisces cards, there's this uncanny like thing of my own that always shows up. So if you have a Virgo Libra cusp in your life, they're definitely going through it bad, especially in terms of living situation and finance. And they're very like regretful right now and sad and like not able to really concentrate on anything because they feel like they've like lost you. And that goes more if they're a Virgo or a Scorpio. Just read my life. This is not even fair. I'm too sick for this. What is this? Okay. Let's read it like a story. First, I like to take cards. What I say, if it's a Virgo Libra cusp, especially. But also another way to look at this now is one of your road signs is turned upside down. Why? Why is the Justice card turned upside down? Camera froze. If you are looking at this, it doesn't mean the road sign's in reverse. It means you are in reverse when it comes to this particular road, which makes sense when you're coming out of a Tower moment. I'll show you the cards in a minute. These two next to each other make sense. If you've gone through a Tower moment or you have people around you that are going through Tower moments and they're leaning on you, it makes sense that can become really burdensome, and therefore you can't see your own road signs that have to do with your own life clearly enough. This may specifically involve you feeling like you need to take on someone else's failures and pain, and they may also be facilitating that. They may be preying on your nature a little bit. Okay, so if that's not what's going on, and the Page of Pentacles is about money coming in and offers, these offers may be modest at first, but they have the ability, the Tower, to bring a truly fundamental change in your work situation, but also in your living situation. It has a lot to do with contracts, so be mindful, because the contracts right now, you need to have someone with that Virgo Hermit energy be looking over them, because there's something in those contracts that you're not quite going to see clearly. Then the Hermit card as a road sign. If we are traveling, and this comes up on us always, it is a time to stop and reflect. And of course that makes sense now because, for example, this is the state of building immunity, right? In this state, if I am active, I will defeat the purpose of what my body's trying to do, which is to expend all its resources on creating the white blood cell immunity it needs to combat this thing and memorize it should it ever come up again. So I would be doing myself a great disservice by having the Tower moment, or having, allowing myself to become sick with this thing and then letting it sit with me, and then instead of giving it its time to do what I wanted it to do, if we don't adopt the Hermit energy and don't pull back and sit down and quite literally, I think here, mentally rest, then you will defeat the purpose. And with Chiron leaving, you really don't want to play games with this time. I think that's why I've been a little bit annoyed with the Pisces readings, and I wanted to wait until it was made sense to me somehow. Like I was waiting, like as soon as the word immunity clicked in my head, it really did take for me to get sick to understand. I was, and it was like my mom was asking me yesterday, she's like, I don't understand, like this just came out of nowhere, like how did it happen? And I was like, I really think it's because I was going to do the Capricorn and the Pisces reading. She was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I really think so. Because it's not that I was stuck about what to say to you guys. I was just having a very hard time connecting. And I feel like Chiron coming in and giving you that incubating period and now starting to loosen its hold and starting to leave has been weirdly purging and weirdly emotional, and I think that you guys have really sincerely wanted to be alone, and when people want to be alone, the kind of energy they exude, certain personalities are very sensitive to that and definitely want to give you your space. So out of a respect almost, the best way to explain this is like this. So this and how people may have been reacting to you and why it was hard for me a bit to connect with your energy. When things like this happen, and what do I mean by things like this? So for example, I know someone, an acquaintance, who had a full backpack on in Japan somewhere. I think she was in Kyoto. And she was in like a supermarket of sorts or something, like a 7-Eleven of sorts. And she went to open her pack, and it like exploded everywhere. And she's Danish, and when she recounted the story, was really horrified because nobody helped her pick up the stuff that was all over and put it in. And instead, what they did was they just kind of looked away as if it wasn't happening. And when she told the story, everybody else that was there was like, oh, that's messed up, you know. And I was so confused because I was like, no, that's so nice. Like, they're giving you your privacy to pick up your personal things that you were clumsy and dropped. So they're not going to embarrass you by now touching all your personal stuff and watching you as you have to crawl around picking it up. You know, that's not rude. So in the same way, if you've been going through the tower moment and people have been kind of, you know, hanging back a little, or you've been wanting people to hang back a little, it's because you don't want people looking at you in that state where Chiron is done with you, but it's like, you know, excuse me, Chiron being done with you is also the beginning of your shamanic journey. So it's twofold. You know, it's one thing to have a teacher who is quite harsh, but also, you know, the whole way along, you know, Kill Bill style, that it's going to be dope. It's yet another that when the teacher leaves, or you leave the teacher, you immediately have to go on a quest and do this thing now. You know, like, where's the prep time? Where's the rest? Where's the, and this is it. We don't get much of it. So take it while you can, you know. I bet Frodo wishes he would have slept a lot before they left and eaten a lot and taken a lot of baths and stuff, you know, because they got so grimy. This is the time, because then, you know, we got to set out. And once you set out, take it from one who knows, there is nothing else. There is just the road. And then you walk it. And you continue to walk it, and you continue to walk it, and you continue to walk it over and over and over and over again. Until you, I guess, don't want to help people anymore, which won't happen. And in the meantime, 6 of Cups, 4 of Cups. So the cups are lessening. From attached and in love to sorry and regretful. If this is about a Scorpio, a Libra, or a Virgo, you are in luck because they are really missing you. If you are a Pisces and you're dealing with any of these people, you are missing them, if this is an earth sign thing or a Libra, and you are missing them, it looks pretty clear that they're missing you as well. It hasn't been easy on them either. Outcome card, the Scorpio card, the death card. Yeah, I mean, the way, so yesterday I had like a lymphatic massage, and the way the description of what I felt like was like, you know, like a sponge that you like squeeze, like a full sponge. Viscosity. Like we need to be wrung out. Another example that comes to mind, even though it's quite macabre, I'll admit, I was watching Jackie, that movie with Natalie Portman, who is not a Pisces, she's a Gemini. And Jackie was a Virgo, she's not a Pisces, not at all. It's not that kind of connection, but there's this scene that's fantastic, where she's in the bathroom by herself, and it's, I think, the only scene, one of 2 scenes where she's not composed, very beautifully composed. And it's when she's on Air Force One and she's trying to wipe the blood off her face. And she starts to get hysterical because it's dawning on her as she's doing it what has happened and what she will become now. Her new reality sets in so quickly after something so jarring. your new reality sets in so quickly after something so jarring. And what is it? It's not jarring on a physical level, it's jarring on a spiritual level, which for you guys is much more real. You've been in this rigorous, painstaking, pull at your heartstrings, structure and restructure, sort it out, fall in love, not be sure, fall in love, move, be in this profession, do that, find your niche, all of that. You've done all of this with Chiron there informing everything, building your emotional intelligence, making you more a Pisces with every moment. And now it says, okay, I have made you the most healing, understanding, wound, clearing individual I can. Take this now, and by the nature of the knowledge it leaves you with, you are indebted to it. You have to use it. If you know something that will benefit someone and you don't tell them, it's a sin, right? So now it falls on you to do the thing. And that requires a total change in identity. You're done. Now you get to get in the car and go find Bill. And who's Bill? And are we going to kill him? Well, from here it looks like you won't be looking for Bill. It looks like Bill is very much looking for you. And I don't think you want to kill him or her. I think that there is a real love here. And I hesitate to say that. You know that. I don't often even use that word like that. But the Six of Cups and then the Four of Cups and the Virgo card, like very sensitive energies. Much more sensitive than they'd like to admit. And there is a connective here, especially with the Death card. Serious, deep love. And the sadness is palpable. Or the missing. You may not be sad about a situation, but you miss it. You may be in something, but you still miss this thing. You see, because everything that you had before Chiron, now you get to not have another chance at it, not at all, but it looks different from your vantage point now. So you may find yourself thinking about things. You may find yourself wondering about people. It's Mercury retrograde too, then Saturn's going to go retrograde. Then you're going to have Mars in a strange, but it's all going to make Chiron leaving. It's like this, the wound isn't quite ready. You know when you pull a scab off too quickly? No matter how long Chiron took to leave, the scab is going to rip too quickly and it's going to bleed a little. But there is something to it, isn't there? There is some sick pleasure in like ripping the scab off and feeling that little bit of pain where it wasn't healed yet. Ugh. I don't like it, but I've seen people do it who really like it. Oh no. My mom says like I was the child who was so concerned with her like safety and well-being that I'm always like, and it's true. I love myself. So like even just thinking about that, I visualize everything. Like I don't think in words, but I do see pictures in my head. I saw like a knee with like a scab on it, and it really hurt me. So I apologize to my finger when I check my blood sugar ever, like at the doctor. It like kills me that I have to like give a drop of my blood. I'm like, I'm sorry. Anyway, love of self. We'll talk about that in another video. So now a new identity. And perhaps a lot of you may be thinking, because of what's happened in the past week, whatever your personal situation is, you may be thinking, but does the Six of Cups still... Camera froze, sorry. You may be thinking, do these cups still apply? Does this person still care about me? Especially if you're saying that I'm going to change and I have this new identity. And What if that means that this person doesn't feel this way about me anymore, or recognize this? Or what if that means that whoever I was supposed to be with, I'm not going to be with anymore? Okay, so first of all, the thing that Chiron taught you, and now you're going to have to teach everybody else, so I'm going to teach you real fast in case you didn't get the memo. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. You're going to get what you're supposed to get. You're never going to get what you're not supposed to get. Ever. Ever. No matter how close you get to it, no matter how much you can talk yourself into it, no matter how pretty you are, no matter how handsome you are, no matter how rich you are, it will never work. You will only get that which is meant for you, has your energy signature on it. We'll talk about that more in the monthly manifestation for May, which will be the Taurus manifestation video for all signs. So now let's take a look at these cards. I'm just going to stop and reset the setup. I'll be right back. Hi. All right. Another way that you can interpret this Justice card in reverse is what happens when you go through a process like this. When you come out of a shamanic initiation, people around you will notice that you are not the same. You may feel relatively the same, but the look in your eye is not the same. You are not the same. You are energetically, your imprint is different now, right? So that's also what I mean about what is yours because you've amplified that signature by going through this process. And that's what the different planets do as they move through our houses. They amplify our energies in different ways, sophisticating our energy in different ways, refining it. Now, when that happens in this particular way with Chiron coming in and now moving out, the way it affects you most superficially and the way that it might ironically affect you the most, considering how you can be, you like to be liked, right? I mean, you don't necessarily care too much, but you like it. You love it, right? You love nice. One of the things that can be hard is the way people look at you, and the way dealing with society can get a bit tenuous when you've had this experience and your eyes are in a way opened. Because most of society, you will begin to realize, is not so. And so your relationship with what is usually a very happy, kind of flowy, haha, I like everyone, can turn more antagonistic at this time, because as you become more and more aware of your newfound role and your newfound talent, your newfound job, you may become a bit more reserved from the world and take on less of leave behind this Libra energy and take on more of a Virgo quality, which is a regression. It is a pulling back, and I think for very good reason, especially if there's an earth sign that's been playing with you or somehow making you feel insecure about the living arrangement. However, that pulling back, more private energy may suit you, and let's not overlook the most obvious of things here, which is that the Hermit is the shaman card. And so you are being asked to fulfill that which you have now been trained for, which is don't try to be Joe Schmo in the middle of it all anymore, because that's not your part right now. At least for the beginning, until you figure out how your powers work, you need to be a little more in the shadows, and you need to take on this shaman role, which is someone who is relatively lives in solitude. And why? Because when you have the ability to see, one, it can be exhausting to be like this and connected to everyone and everything. And two, for that light to shine, there needs to be a blank canvas for these thoughts to manifest and this understanding to develop within you now of how to help people and heal people and be there for people and connect with people and connect to other realms for people and with people. For you to be able to do that, you need a blank canvas where you can throw all this up and look at it. And that blank canvas in your mind is your solitude. That's why Virgos like to be alone, because they like to think, and to think you need a clear space. Now, you're only human, and so although you have been chosen to do these really big things, you're still like, but what about love? Now more than anything, I need love. Now more than anything. And I think this is more about somebody else yearning for you. I don't think this is about you being set on someone and not being able to get them out of your head. It really does feel like all of these different energies are gravitating towards you. And so it's not surprising that that includes love, that includes regret, and, missing you from far away, and trying in their own way to, come back, or reach out, or play games, or be controlling, or be charming and come off wrong. I don't think any of it is working right now because, and this may also apply to a partner that you're with already, none of it is quite appealing, and it's leaving to you, and it's leaving them feeling a little forlorn, and it's because you are going through a very profound transformation, and you will get to the rest of that stuff for sure. But right now you have something very important to do for your growth. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, Ace of Swords, 7 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so you're going to have to deal with and make sense of so many different sorts of neuroses now with people. Because once you have this ability, you become a magnet for people who need your talent. Even if you don't say anything to anyone, they will find you out because they are lost, because they feel deceived, because they feel despair and left alone, because they feel that they are at the mercy of somebody, right? In Urdu, that's called kisi ka muhtaj hona, right? To be dependent on somebody else is so awful. And all of these sort of lost, deceived, people in despair, people that feel that their fortune has reversed, all of those people will now be looking for you to make sense and have insight about this because you have been trained in it now. And so they will come and find you out, and it is your job now to guide them with the grace and the receptivity and the kind of quiet, extreme power that this archetype represents. This is someone who has control of an empire and over an emperor. It is the fruition of female power. In this case, the fruition of water energy. Water energy amplified through such rigorous training that the heart becomes at once completely open and vulnerable, clear, and yet made of the thickest glass. Unbreakable now. And that's what I've been trying to get to. What you will figure it out. I don't like to, do the work for the student. Like, I was kind of wanting you to figure that out on your own. But what it does is it makes you, what this process leaves you with is you become impenetrable. Your heart has become, in a lot of ways, unbreakable, the way it can be once you have a child, that after that people can hurt you, but nothing will ever hurt you quite so bad anymore because it's relatively not important. In the same way, your heart has been healed and sealed and filled the cracks with gold in many places over the past years, and Chiron has done a very good job of teaching you how to remain in the process of constantly beautifying and healing your heart. So now I'm just shuffling. I don't even know why I'm shuffling. I just wanted to know a little bit more. So now you can approach these love situations with a bit of distance, where before perhaps it might have been too strong, too hot, too much, too overwhelming. Now you may find that people wish that you could be that way again, because your new coolness, although very attractive, is a bit difficult on them. But you have so much good luck coming in here, especially money-wise at the end of the month. I think that's worth taking a look at, actually, in the extended. Just in terms of money, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll look at career and finance in the extended. We'll do a new shuffle and we'll clarify for sure the major arcana. Actually, we'll clarify all of them one by one since it's a pretty concise reading. Thank you for sticking with me through the sniffles. I love you guys, Avi, you know that. And I will see you in the extended. You can get it at my website. Click over and then click extended readings or the Shopify link below. And I think there's like 2 tickets left for Atlanta, so I'll put that up. And there will be a pre-order link for my book. So you can check that out as well. I love you, Atlanta. I'll see you in a couple of days.